Why is CNN ignoring Biden's real issues? Yeah, I mean that's a valid question. Why are they protecting geriatric Joe? But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my merch store, on my Patreon, and there's also a link to my mental health coaching page. All right, let's talk about this news. Bless CNN's heart. What was once the most trusted name in news has blinded itself to the reality that a rapidly increasing number of people have fallen out of love with Joe Biden. There's probably a staffer in a corner at CNN's headquarters rocking back and forth, whispering to himself, "It's a messaging problem." And that delusion is beginning to show in CNN's coverage of the president and his team. Earlier this week, Edward Isaac DeVere published a piece at CNN.com with the laughable headline, quote, "Beneath Biden's struggle to break through is a deeper dysfunction among White House aides." The article is full of hand-wringing analysis that members of Biden's team are blaming each other for failures, probably true, that Biden is struggling with the disconnect between a tough, serious president and a jovial backslap ice cream lover, also probably true. And the president is the product of an older media age who is more concerned with newspaper coverage than Twitter and Instagram. And that's certainly true. Quote, aides regularly talk about how little traction they're getting from one off Biden appearances or events, and then whether on inflation, the baby formula shortage, or mass shootings, or the other crises landing on Biden's desk. He's often left looking like he's in a reactive crouch on the issues that matter most to voters rather than setting the agenda. Dovere writes, quote, sometimes clip moments from those speeches that the White House puts out on social media generate huge traffic, but at least as often moments from the president appearing to be caught off guard go viral on their own. The people who are looking at the gaffes and all that other stuff that he's doing. And we have, I'm hands down one of the worst presidents ever. But there's even more deflection of what the real issue plaguing the Biden administration are. Quote, Biden aides cite a range of other factors, a political press corps still hooked on Trump style melodrama, a news environment dominated by Ukraine and pandemic, a Secret Service buffer that limits what Biden can do, lingering anxiety that he'll catch COVID 19 and possibly become really sick, Dovere points out. Those may be legitimate concerns in the minds of Biden, his handlers, and his hangers on. Although if he's worried about the Secret Service limiting what he can do, he shouldn't have run for president. But DeVere and everyone he spoke to for his article are looking past the most glaring issue of why Biden is struggling to break through. Where do I begin? Well, for starters, let's talk about how Biden has spit in the face of his supposed reputation as a unifier. From telling black voters during the campaign that they ain't black if they don't vote for someone other than him, to promising a winter of severe illness and death for those who choose to exercise their freedom not to get an experimental jab. Biden has authorized anyone who doesn't line up with the left's narrative. Um, it's just crazy. I meant ostracized. Sorry about that. But Biden also has a terrible habit of blaming others for problems his administration has caused. He blamed the rise of gas prices on Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, as well as on Americans' unwillingness to buy expensive electric vehicles, rather than owning up to what his administration's policies have done to the gas prices. And I was and I normally don't feed trolls, but I was feeding the trolls in the comments the other day when he was praising Biden and all this other stuff, and said it's not Biden's fault for the gas prices. And I'm like, are you serious? Gas prices were going up well before him. How can you defend his policies. Look at how the direction this country is heading, and people are still caping for this dude. I don't get it. But and then there's inflation. Remember how it was transitory? I did a whole video on that and called that out when they were saying that how much they know this was a lie. But then that turned out not to be the case, of course. And Biden blamed corporate greed and even his own administration. That's right. Yet he and his team have shown little concern for the plights of American families, unless you count the 16 cents you saved on your cookout last Independence Day. Remember when he brought that up? There's so much more, from refusing to condemn protests at the homes of Supreme Court justices to expressing support for allowing children to undergo radical sex change processes to taking a strong pro-gun control stance. Biden and his team have consistently alienated large swaths of the American populace. You name the issue, and you can be sure that Biden has gone to the far left on it. The lament about traditional media and social media coverage, in spite of the near unanimous support for the administration from legacy media and big tech, won't matter in the long run. And the hand wringing over seriousness versus joviality won't make a difference. And all the discussion of staff disstuding in the White House won't change a thing. The real problem with the team in power is the disconnect between the Biden administration and much of the American people on matters of policy. And we count on CNN to ignore that issue, and they will continue to ignore that issue. I don't think they're ever going to change, even though they're losing out on money because people aren't watching them like they used to watch them. CNN has become a joke, and it doesn't even seem like they care that they're the brunt of everyone's jokes. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.